Good morning. How are you? Great. It's so good to hear. We are heading into Gettysburg today. I've got a lunch meeting at noon and also some editing to do in the studio. I also have to figure out what is causing our live streams to freeze like they do. These driving videos have been getting like a couple of thousand views, which I don't understand. But if anybody out there is familiar with the Blackmagic ATEM system, I have the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. If you have that, please get in touch with me, matt@addressinggettysburg.com. I'm trying to figure out what the hell is wrong. We have this issue where just randomly the picture will freeze and the audio continues, but the picture just freezes, and it's only in the live stream. It's not in the recording. So if that's any clue to you, because I'm clueless. So let me straighten this camera out here a bit. Hello, 6 questions. Good morning to you. I'll be driving past your plant soon, and I will beep the horn to say hello. You probably don't even hear it anyway, but I'll do it anyway. Good morning, Francis. So like I said in the beginning, it's 28 degrees here. It's warming up, you know. Spring is coming. Also, don't forget, folks, if you haven't signed up yet, February 15th, I know it's Valentine's Day weekend, but why do you want to be like everybody else and go make a reservation at a restaurant where everybody's doing the same thing and it really means nothing because it's not unique, right? Why don't you come and join us for Tacos and Trivia, our second annual Tacos and Trivia at the seminary. It's something I'm doing with the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, and it was a lot of fun last year. The Addressing Gettysburg team almost won, but Colby allowed Taylor to give the wrong answer. So they lost, but close, second place, not bad. I think it was second place. Well, regardless, it was close. So come on out. It was a lot of fun. It's bring your own booze. We're going to have tacos made by Jake Schindel at the Ragged Edge Coffee House there. He also has a little catering business on the side. Not really little. It's a pretty good catering business on the side. And the tacos were delicious last year. Muy delicioso, if you will. And we had a tremendous amount of fun. It's a good group of people. So come on out. February 15th, go to, I don't have the link here, but just go to seminaryridgemuseum.com and go to their events tab and you'll find it for February 15th. Get your tickets there and we'll have a ball. We will have a ball. Skull says, hey, I sent you $300 if you stop at someone home. What? Oh, I will send you. Nah, thanks. Nelly, hello. And Paul, how are you doing? Good morning to you. So this is Carroll's Tract Road. If you're someone interested in roads and where we are and all that stuff, it runs along the footies of the mountains here, and it is a drive. I'll angle the camera over just a bit. You're not going to get the full splendor of it, but lots of farmland, mountains, orchards. You got your cows, you got your horses, You got your old homes, you got your newer homes, you got your in-between homes. Snow, there's snow as well. It is just a beautiful little corner of the country, and we're very lucky that we live out here. Hello, Ron. So we're coming back with AG today early on February 6th. We're going to start it up again. I hope I can figure out what the issue is with the picture, but at least you'll hear the audio. We'll put the video version up the next day. It's still going to be on YouTube until probably March, and that's when it moves over to Patron. And what an exciting day that will be. What an exciting day that will be. So we're coming back early. The reason we're coming back early is, and I won't tell you, well, I think I already did, but I'll tell you the reason is because Colby and Tay are moving, and much sooner than they initially anticipated, and that means we're going to be losing our buddy Colby, who, I don't know if you knew this, but he was in the Marines, and and he will yes, I'll let him tell us what he's doing and why they're moving, where they're moving to, but they are moving, and it will be sooner than the year to 2 years that he actually projected. So and we're talking like before April. So I'm like, well, let's come back early, because I don't want to come back with a whole new crew, not a whole new crew, but new third chair, and have everybody go, well, where the hell's Colby? People like Colby. Colby likes everybody, and so I'm giving everybody a chance to say goodbye to Colby, and Colby to say goodbye to you. He's really had a lot of fun with you. I've had a lot of fun with him, and I'm gonna miss him, and I'm gonna miss Taylor. We have dinner together. We do stuff extracurricularly, and we have a lot of fun with them. They're among the few people that I feel I can say whatever comes to mind, and they'll know it's a joke, and laugh with me instead of clutch their pearls, and that is so refreshing, and so it will be missed. Here we are at Mike and Debbie's 6th question and Debbie's place of employment. Here we go. Hey guys, how are you? We're gonna say hello. That's what we just did with that little beep beep. Hey, you know what I'll do? We'll take 30 in. I think 30 is a nicer drive, so we'll take that in there. And we're gonna straighten out one more time here. Morning, one-e nerd. Faye, good morning to you. Alicia, oh, that's cool. So if we got Faye Boggs says morning, and then Alicia Boggs says, Mom and Sis here, still waiting for them to open the south part of the battlefield, all closed down due to weather. Yeah, as long as there's weather. I don't think they go in and plow them. I don't know if they ever actually do. I can't remember. I think the roads stay closed until it melts. And if you think about it, if they can't mow, why would they have the money to plow? So I would imagine that those are going to be there until the good Lord gives us some warm weather. Sarin says Marines. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. He was in the Marines. Dustin, good morning to you. 6 questions. Hello when I beep chat him. That was great. Thank you. 6 questions. Paul, 30 is a nice ride. It is a nice ride. It's actually, I think it's a nicer ride going out towards the towards the mountains, but it is still a nice ride nonetheless. And I have some time to spare. What if we took a roundabout way? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Maybe that's what we'll do. I think it's called Crooked Creek Road. I think we'll take that. We've never done that before, and it's a cool. What I like about the road is, and I don't know if this is true, but it reminds me of a road whose really only modern improvements are asphalt. But the road, I imagine, is no bigger than it was in the 1800s, like during the Civil War. I can only imagine. We'll see. We'll get a closer look at it when we go through here. So that's what we'll do. We'll take 30 to Crooked Creek Road, which I think will put us out on the Mummasburg Road, if I'm not mistaken. And then we'll head in via the Mummasburg Road, because I've got more time to kill than I thought. So, but I don't have more gas to burn than I thought. So, of course, super chats, super thanks, whatever the hell they call them, are greatly appreciated. And also becoming a patron over at patreon.com/addressinggettysburg. Somebody once said to me, Matt, they said, how do you put out so much material when all the other podcasts I listen to don't? And I say, because my darling, wonderful, brave, loyal, fantabulous patrons enable me to do that. If it weren't for them, I would not have the time to focus on doing all that stuff. So if you like what we do, please like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever, and also become a patron over at patreon.com/addressinggettysburg. Stella, how are you? Good morning. You say, I'm starting to get the feeling that you live in your car. I know. Well, that detour makes my drive in a lot longer. And I already, you know how I always say that, like, when I get further away from Gettysburg, I feel less at home when the town itself. And so it was already a bit of a stretch, when we were looking at this house 18 minutes away. I was like, oh, I don't know. I moved to Gettysburg. I didn't move to Pennsylvania, and I said, but the house is really cool. It's quiet. It's got all the things I want, land, all that. Maybe. And then we thought about it and we're like, okay, fine. And then, I don't know when it was, like a week after we started moving in, they start doing road work on the Fairfield Road, which is a straight line into Gettysburg, and we now have to take a detour till June. So that'll be fun. That's really helping with my mileage on my lease. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is the scenic route I'm taking. There's another scenic route to take that I think is a little quicker. And there's also, of course, we can go right through Emmitsburg and hop on 15 and take that up north. So there's a couple of ways to go. Good morning, Peter Zach. How are you? Chantel says, good morning, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button. I agree, Chantel. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe. You should really support your grassroots history content creators. And you're going to hear a lot more of that this year. But I'll only tell you why in a private situation. So when you come to town and we grab a beer, ask me why you should support grassroots history content creators over anybody else. World War II American Experience Museum is out on Crooked Creek Road. That is correct, Paul. That is correct. Oh, Garrix. What did I just say? Faybog says, we drove by your studio the other day in the alley. We got stupid excited. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Did you take a picture by the door? Take a picture by the door and then put it online and you hashtag addressing Gettysburg or tag me. Do both. Tag me and hashtag it. And all that jazz. We just finished watching the Irish Brigade AAGG. Great episode. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is it Sarn or... I'm guessing it's Sarn, right? That's the way it looks to me. But I am no linguist. Yeah, we did the Irish Brigade. We've been doing a lot of recording. I actually have to start, like I said, February we're going to start releasing Patreon shows again. Thank you, patrons, for your patience with that, letting me not put anything out in order to build up a cushion there. And I have to start releasing them because I need to make room on my external hard drives. They're all full. Video, so as we're getting into video, I'm realizing that my costs are going to go up because I have to buy more memory. And more memory ain't cheap. And so I have like 2 cloud subscriptions where I upload old, like things that have already been edited and uploaded. All those files go on the cloud. So then I delete it and make room on the external hard drive. But even it's a 4 terabyte hard drive that I'm operating on, and I've had to make room twice in the last 2 months. Is because I haven't been putting up shows. That's gonna change now, so I'm going to start clearing that stuff out and getting shows back going. The Ask a Guide that you're talking about, the Irish Brigade, and all these Ask a Guides that we've recorded this winter, except maybe 4, and I don't know which 4 it's going to be. 4 of them will come out in March and April, and then in May, God willing, I figure out that glitch with the system. But either way, we're going to start to do the Ask a Gettysburg guides live. So the remainder of those Ask a Guides that you've been watching on Patreon in January and February are going to sit in the can, so that when I have a cancellation at the last minute, I can put those up. So, because once you get people used to something on a schedule, you got to keep it going. And again, that's made possible because of our patrons. Patreon.com/addressinggettysburg. Faye says, yes, this is on it. Okay, good. EB, I agree. And Peter says, coming down next weekend, taking a group down. Very nice. Wait, I don't want to miss Crooked Creek. Don't tell me I passed it. I wasn't looking. Nope, here it is. Up on Crooked Creek, she sends me. If I spring a leak, she mends me. I don't have to speak. She defends me. A drunkard's dream, if I ever did see one. So here we are on Crooked Creek Road. The crookedness hasn't begun yet. You're like, this looks pretty straight to me. Oh, you just wait. You just wait. And I'm sorry if the camera's shaking around. It is a rather bumpy road. Now, this bridge, I believe, has been improved, actually, in recent years, if I'm not mistaken. I seem to remember having this being I seem to remember that being a 1-lane bridge. But look at this beautiful old farmhouse here. I love these farms where the house is on one side. This is a Civil War hospital, by the way. This is the Christian Shank Farm. But I love the ones where the house is on one side of the road and the barn is on the other. Oh, no, this is the 1-lane bridge. No, I think the other one, no, maybe I'm wrong. This is definitely one because there's a sign that labels it as such. Here we go, here I am. Going over the 1-lane bridge. You can see the crookedness of the creek because of the crooked road. Hello, 60-second. How are you? Peter says, like a B-17 going through flak. Yes, right. I get you. That's right, Garrix. You do. You are a patron. But I didn't say local. I said grassroots. Next time I see you, I'll explain what I'm talking about. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Almost ran over a cat there. All right, I'm exaggerating. I wouldn't say almost. It was a good deal away from me before he got to the other side of the road. The Crooked Creek is to my left, and the road doesn't exactly follow it, although maybe it follows the original path of the creek. You know, sometimes creek beds change their direction, but for the most part, I think it's, you know, well, who knows? Engineers are smarter than I, so they know what they were doing. Yes, this is going to take us to the Mummersburg Road, which of course leads to Mummersburg, a booming metropolis here in the Adams County area. And then beyond that is Arntsville, which we almost bought a house in. Almost. So the World War II Museum is just to the right, and it's right on the corner of Crooked Creek and Mummersburg Road. Alrighty. So now we head on the Mummersburg Road into Gettysburg. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico, to Lake Charles, Louisiana, little Bessie girl that I once knew. She told me just to come on by if there's anything she could do. Up on Cripple Creek, now I got that song in my head. If I spring a leak, then I will be dead. I don't have to speak, 'cause it's in my head, a drunkard's dream, if I ever did see one. This is the Belmont Road intersection that we're coming up to here. If you go right, that'll take you out to 30 as well. Right by the first shot marker, ladies and gentlemen, actually. If you're not, if I'm not mistaken, you're gonna go to 30, make a right, and then the first shot marker will be soon after that moment. And it's very exciting. Very, very exciting. But in the meantime, we're heading into Gettysburg. And I'm saying Gettysburg as a joke. As a joke. As a joke. People say, well, but I don't know. They say it is Gettys. Well, there's a lot of things that people mispronounce. That's a lack of education that's showing there, more than anything else, or the influence of a foreign accent. Like, you know, coffee in New York, C-A-W-F-E-E, coffee. That's not how you spell it. It's C-O-F-F-E-E-E-E-E. There's like 7 E's in that one. So, yeah, it's Gettysburg. You don't go to get a gas, you go to Getty Gas. And, you know, it's not a xylophone, it's a xylophone. The name isn't Toby, it's Toby. You see, no matter where you go, the Y is a Y. It sounds like an I, a long I, or an E. Excuse me. All right, now we're crossing Hers Ridge. Very excited. It was Hers Ridge Road intersection there. Straight up ahead of us. That's Oak Hill. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. Yes, we're gonna come out on Oak Hill. And we'll do a little zigzag. Jesus, I have an hour to kill. Okay, well, I guess we'll do a drive. Got 15 miles till empty. We could do it. We can pull into the gas station on fumes, couldn't we, folks? Running on empty. Oh, wait. Did they not plow these roads? No, I think they did. Looks like they did. Yes, they did. Oh. Then we're going to pull right in here. I wonder if this doesn't count as a park road, so it's plowed. Good question. I'll have to ask somebody. We'll see. And who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe other park roads are plowed now, and it's cool. You can see like deer tracks in the snow. It's kind of neat to see their patterns of movement. It is bright with that sun glaring off of the snow. Faye says, don't give up your day job regarding the singing. But Estella says, Matt is sharing his greatest hits. Estella, big fan of the dulcet tones of my singing voice. She has all of my albums and drives her husband crazy listening to them during dinner. I need to get some little ground top while in town. Yes, absolutely. Go grab a few. You have a rare opportunity. It's been so dead this week. I was in there yesterday and I'm like, oh, you got an unusual amount of bags left by this time of the week. And they said it has been D-E-D dead in here. It has been D-E-D dead in town. So there you go. Javier says, you're so smart, so exciting. Wow. Yes, you're absolutely right on both counts. Thank you for pointing that out. A gorgeous day to drive around the battlefield, says Paul. Yes, it is a gorgeous day to drive around the battlefield. Really, any day is a gorgeous day to drive around the battlefield, even ugly days. Well, yes, even the ugly days. Although I like a good stormy day. Stormy days are fun. But just a cloudy day is kind of boring. But you got some clouds, you got some mist, and maybe some rain or some thunder coming in the distance. That's when it's fun. Wait. Stella says, I do, it's true. Matt, I love driving Glenn crazy, so thank you for your help. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Estella. Anytime. Let me know what else I can do. Ty says, little ground top has really been there for me ever since Dad left. He's taught me how to play catch and fish, and he's really good with Mom too. She really enjoys her wrestle sessions on Sunday. Wow. Who knew a coffee could do so much? Hey, Ty, would you just copy and paste that into an email and send it to me? Because that's my next ad for Little Ground Top. And remind me that I said, wow, who knew Little Ground Top could do so much at the end of it? Thank you. Faye says, best time, went to Sweeney and had the place to ourselves. Yeah, it's nice, right? That's what I loved about living in town in the winter, is you have the place to yourself. Like, it's just like it feels like your small town. And then just when that starts to get boring and you're starting to get the cabin fever and all that stuff, spring arrives just in time. And so do the tourists, and it's nice. Fraser Baby says, this just reminded me to order Little Ground Top this weekend. Almost out. Thanks for the reminder. You're welcome. Thanks for the orders. Order after order after order keeps pouring in for Little Ground Top. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how much the world, I don't know if you saw, they had a meeting at Davos recently. Guess what they were serving? Folgers. But next year, they'll be serving Little Ground Top. Okay? We just signed the contract. East Cavalry Field and Benner's Burgage is plowed. What is Burgage? Those are plowed. Okay, so maybe they got to plow in then. We'll see. We'll see if the South Confederate is open. We'll go all the way down there for you guys so you can see. So that the Boggses can come back and, head on down. Ease on down the road, if you will. Paul says, wintertime was fun in town. No tourists looking in your windows if you lived in town. Yeah, I can't admit. Yeah, that I never wanted to live like right on the main drag. Although I gotta say, those old houses that are along, say, Baltimore, York, Carlisle, Chambersburg Street, and in the square, they're long. So, your front room might be a little loud because you hear, the cars and everything going by. And with the restrictions on windows, you can't get the double paned windows, so it's pretty loud. But beyond that, like further back, those things are like pretty damn quiet. I mean, you'll hear the extremely loud things like sirens or 30 bikers going by and revving their engines, but for the most part, they're pretty quiet, which is nice. Like, you could delude yourself into thinking that you're out in the country until you step outside and you realize, oh no, I'm in town. Bill, hello, how are you? You're welcome for the ride along. Garrick's, Brigade, gotcha. What did it say? Oh, Burgage, yeah. Benner's Brigade, but it's not Benner's Brigade, though. It's Benner's Hill. Oh, I caught you there. Caught you there. So somebody had asked if, well, not asked, they said in a comment on Instagram, they said something to the effect of, when you make Little Ground Top in K-Cups, I'll order a bag. And that sounded like an ultimatum. But I asked if they can do that, and unfortunately, the answer is no. And the reason why is because they would have to send 1,000 pounds of their coffee to the company that makes the K-Cups. And it just doesn't make any sense cost-wise. Little Ground Top is their number one seller, but it's not enough to justify that. Maybe if we can get it into some other stores in town this year, that's one of the goals, then maybe that's a different story. We'll see. But it's not practical now. They do make, these refillable K-Cups that you can put whatever coffee you want into it there. But at the moment, we do not have K-Cups. And the likelihood of Little Ground Top, a coffee associated with a podcast about the Battle of Gettysburg being a runaway success that it would justify 1,000 pounds of coffee being sent to the K-Cup manufacturer is so unlikely. No matter how hard you all try, it's very unlikely. So I don't know if we'll ever be able to do K-Cups. But you know what I should say? K-Cups are not really good for you. You're heating up plastic, all that stuff, endocrine system or whatever, and stuff. And maybe you want to go back to the drip. That's my public service announcement. But anyway, so if you're a strict K-Cup user, sorry, we're not going to be able to help you there for a while. Paul says it's nice that you could walk to almost everything in town. Yeah, that is something I do miss. Although by the time I left town, I wasn't really doing much walking to places. I never had the time. I always had things scheduled like boom, 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 one after the other. And I had to drive. And I didn't like that because I like walking around. And now I'm out in the country, so, Eric says, you KG it grind up for K-Cup reusable cartridges. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would say. If you're a K-Cup user, get one of those and order the bag and use it. You will like it. I used to always keep the door locked, Peter says, when I lived in New Bern, North Carolina. It was a corner house and a sign saying museum pointing down the street. People always mistook our house. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mitchell says, Matt, love you, brother. Hope all is well. Mitchell, love you too. Hope all is well with you. The wife. Gail says, good morning, Matt. I say good morning, Gail. Now what? We're at an impasse. Where do we go from here? Beautiful day out here. Oh, look at that. There's El Rondo Topo Grande. A lot of people didn't know that I could speak many languages. There is something, I don't know what, but something pretty about the battlefield in the snow. More so like as it's falling than anything else. All right, we're going to go and investigate. Is South Confederate reopened? This is for the Boggses. I think it was the Boggses. So a lot of people, not a lot of people, I don't know, maybe it is a lot, I don't know. People can be confused when driving along Confederate Avenue and seeing all the artillery. Some of them on the reverse side of the ridge, meaning that they fire, they can't see what they're firing at, and the projectiles are gonna just go right into the side of the hill. That's not where they were. They were further out in the field, but they moved them to they put them in these spots because of the roads. And there is still a barricade up there So you can't get down that way. And waiting for this car to pass. And now we're going to turn left on the Emmitsburg Road. This is a road that will take you to a place called Emmitsburg, Maryland. It'll also take you down to Highway 15. Just got an email from MPS Ranger Dan over at Ike's Farm. They are already planning September. Good. You got a plan far, far ahead. We're planning things for next January and February already. Although I'm kind of thinking whether I should. I don't know. I don't know. All right, we're turning on the Wheatfield Road. Jim Hessler is just giving a tour in that car there, ladies and gentlemen. You never know who you're going to bump into while going around the battlefield. It's just the way it is. Oh, now, okay, so some of the park roads are cleared. This one here, Sickles Avenue, was closed. I would take you down to show you the Valley of Death, but I lose cell service there and you never see anything anyway. Sorry. Ty Webb points out a very good and important historical fact. Emmitsburg, Maryland is, of course, named after Doc Emmett Brown and is where he invented the flux capacitor. A lot of people don't know this. Before making his way out to Hill Valley, this is where Doc Brown really cut his teeth. Emmitsburg, Maryland. This is the sound of silence. See, and I lost you here too. There's some people on the side, bird watching or something. Maybe you need Starlink, says Peter. I'm actually thinking of getting it for the studio, although I don't think our issue with freezing is internet related. I think it's in the system somewhere. It almost seems to me like something shorts out and then it causes the picture to freeze. And it's just like a split second of some kind of, and I'm short, I don't know if is technically the term I'm thinking here, but something like that. But although it doesn't reflect in the recording, so I have no idea. I have not, which tells me that it's probably not in the camera switcher, it's in the computer itself. But the computer is brand new. I got it in August. So like, and it's a Mac, and supposedly they're like, oh, you can't, nothing's wrong with a Mac, and they never make a mistake, and there's Mac people. So I can't imagine it would be that. Maybe it's the software we live stream with. I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I just don't know. Trust the sound of Kinnison. This is the copse of trees on your left there. Around the angle, of course, Pickett's Charge fame. Peter says, I'm thinking of getting Starlink so I can get rid of cable and internet services. The cable company plays games with prices. Yeah, they do. I love how in many ways there's a moment now of the dinosaurs, the holdovers from the 20th century. People are starting to realize, like, you don't work for my life anymore, and they're just rejecting them. I like that because there was an arrogance that they had, where they're like, we don't need to change. You have no other choice but to go with us. But then the internet came along and kind of said, no, you do have another choice. And this is why I say support your grassroots history content creators, because this is really the first time in American history where someone can actually make himself something without qualifications, which is good and bad. But the internet enables people who would otherwise be nobodies or make no money. It enables them to make money just simply by being themselves. And so it's really the first time like Americans can realize what we've been working for 250 years. That's my take on the whole thing. Some smarter people will probably disagree, but I'll believe that they have a political agenda. I just think that, the internet kind of freed up people. And that's why, oh my God, look at this. Hold on here. Take a look at this baby. Looky there. Whoo. This is at the Horse Soldier. That is real too. Damn. That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Let me just back up here. Get out of here. We'll go along and see the bird there. See there? See there? That's pretty cool. So anyway, like I was saying, the internet enables it so that the only hoops a person has to jump through is their own willingness and motivation to make something of themselves. And then, of course, finding an audience or finding a following, whatever you want to call it, which is not easy to do. But once you can do that, like, you don't have to fill out an application. You don't have to go get certain schooling, although it would help for certain things. Like if you're a doctor and you're doing, like Dr. Pimple Popper, obviously she needs schooling. But you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, it's a good day. So I like that people aren't going with the cable companies anymore, because they shouldn't. Cable companies took you for granted. They took advantage of you. I got rid of it 20 years ago, and I don't miss it. In fact, when I go to somebody's house that has cable and they put the TV on or whatever, I'm like, get me the frig out of this room. It sounds and looks like poison to me. I don't know why. So I watch streaming services. And if they have commercials, I ignore them. I skip them, whatever. I feel like I have more control paying for streaming services because like when 1883 was on, I got Paramount Plus until I finished 1883. And then I think Masters of the Air was on that as well, right? Was that Disney? Well, whatever it was, I think it was Disney. Whatever it was, I got it until I was done with it, and then I stopped it. You can't do that with a cable company. Maybe you can now, but you couldn't when I quit. It was like take it or leave it, and if you left it, like, I don't know, I didn't like the way it was handled, and so I did without. And frankly, in some aspects, my life improved once getting rid of that. Especially when there's like 4,000 channels. One of the joys of living in Gettysburg, and oh, hey, Garrick, didn't see you there. One of the joys of living in Gettysburg and driving through town in the winter is getting stuck behind these big trucks. But it's not as bad as summer traffic. It's just, it makes Manhattan look like the country. So I'm going to park. I'm early for my meeting, but I'm going to park and, oh, no, can't because there's a semi in the way. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm just going to park early, and I'll answer your comments, and we'll do, actually, you know what? I've got a little more time. We'll do a drive down to East Cavalry Fields. All right? Okay, that sounds good to me. Bantam's is going to be featuring Matt one night for entertainment. Yeah, like when they want to clear the place. Ty says, speaking of Max, does anyone remember the movie Mac and Me? Paul Rudd would always make fun of it on Conan. No, I don't, but I think Paul Rudd is funny. Matt Gillespie says, I'm late to the drive. Were there any updates on the Get Out of the Car tours? Not in the drive, but I did send an early review of the schedule along to Mike Stretch, who does the website. I don't know if he put them up yet, but that was that yesterday, or it was either yesterday or the day before I sent them over to him. So, that'll go on his stack of stuff, and he'll get to it in order of appearance. So probably within the next week, I would imagine, perhaps over the weekend, that'll be up. Now, you'll notice that it's incomplete, but I wanted to get something up there quickly just so that you had the dates. For example, the June, and actually the May and June tours, most of the tours are awaiting descriptions from the guides, also bios of the guides, pictures of the guides. Some of them say information forthcoming or details forthcoming, something like that. But I wanted to at least give you the dates and the locations. This has been harder to do because every park is different, which amazes me. And we talked about this before. I think somebody pointed out that there are only 11 national parks that don't charge a fee. I never knew that. Like I went to I've gone to Antietam, I can't tell you how many times, and never even knew there was a fee that I had to pay. I never went into, well, not never, but I rarely ever went into the visitor center. So I had no idea. So I just always assumed that the fee that I pay is called my taxes. But apparently that's incorrect. That's not enough. So anyway, so there's some have fees, some don't have fees. Parking, we're very spoiled here in Gettysburg for parking. We have a lot of parking. Not every other place has a lot of parking, or much parking to speak of at all. So that's another issue that we're trying to figure out. So there's a lot of logistics that are not typically of a get out of our tour year that we had to worry about. So yeah, that's the silly there. But I at least have guides lined up. Let's see, who have we got lined up? Of course, Lewis is doing April, and April is here in Gettysburg. And it is, I can't remember, we don't remember. And then we have May, Monocacy with hopefully Matt Borders. I should find out this week about that. Actually, today is the end of this week, so I should probably text Matt and see what the deal is. But Matt is tentatively the Monocacy person. And that is co-hosted by the Civil War Breakfast Club podcast. June is the Battle of Brandy Station. Brandy Station, St. James Church at Brandy Station. We're doing 2 guides on this one. Good old 6 questions Lentz and Tracy Air. This one, I am going to tell you now, I'm going to have to charge for this one because it's costing me a lot of money. So I am charging for that one. It will be $5,000 a person, and you will pay it and you will like it. And then July we are off, and then August is First Bull Run, and Harry Smeltzer from the Bull Runnings blog give us Matthews Hill. Might I suggest to you wear a wide brim hat for that day, or bring yourself an umbrella, because we're going to be out in the sun. There's not a lot of shade. So keep that in mind there. Also, parking is a bitch at Manassas. There's not a lot of it. You, of course, got the parking on Henry Hill, but there is parking at Matthews Hill, but it is not nearly enough for the numbers that we usually get. So for many of these, we're actually going to meet in Gettysburg early in the morning and consolidate cars. If you're coming from this area, I should say. If you're coming from this area, or you'll be passing through this area, please join us. We will stop. We will carpool. We'll get into cars and we will carpool our way down there, so that we are not bringing as many cars. If you have a friend who comes down and you guys are near each other and you don't want to make the stop here in Gettysburg, please carpool yourselves. People who will come in a car alone will be run off the road and tarred and feathered. So please, if you want to spare yourself the humiliation and the pain, make sure that you carpool to most of these tours. Antietam is in September. Brad Gottfried is going to give that tour. We are doing the cornfield, but we're also going to stop and say hi to the Dunkers. We're gonna do some other things, but we'll meet at the visitor center. There, you have to go pay your extra tax at the visitor center. There, it's $20. You can also pay that online, and if you have a park pass, then you don't need to. But I would recommend that you go in and just let them know, because if we're stopped along the way, which I don't know if they're rangers or anything like our rangers, you will obviously be drawing attention, and they're going to probably accost us, and will, have to deal with that. And if you haven't at least checked in with them then maybe they'll give you trouble. I don't know. I've never known that you had to do that. So to me, that's insane. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So, and then October is back here, and we are going to do African American history. It is at the Warfield Farm. I don't know what the plan is for this, but I believe it's, I don't know, actually. I just don't know. So we're going to let Lewis's description, which will be on the website, tell us exactly what the aspect of that tour will be. So the schedule is coming up at this point, just so that you can save the dates. The dates we're pretty solid on. Everything else, including whether or not they're free or charge, is still up in the air. Again, I'm still trying to keep all of these free. Again, if we get this nonprofit foundation off the ground soon, where you can start making donations to it, then that would actually, one of the reasons Tim has started that was to cover the costs of the Get Out of the Car tours. So if we can fund it enough where we can do it, then I won't have to charge. So it all depends on the kind-heartedness of you and your wallet as we move forward this year. So that's I hope that answers your question there, Matt. It's a little icy out here on East Cavalry Field, or as we like to call it, ECF. Peter says the internet was great for history. Yeah, it was. I think it was great for a lot of things. Unfortunately, like with anything else, you're going to have your nincompoops. But that, as annoying as it is, I think it's still good. If everybody sounds the same, I mean, what a snooze. What a snooze. Why do you want everybody to sound the same? Isn't it exciting when you disagree with people? Does that like get your heart going? I don't know. It feels like life. It's fun. Let everybody disagree. That's the point. Dylan says every commercial nowadays is like on this week's earth-shattering episode of Baby Sheldon. Yeah, I know. Right. They over sensational. Everything has to be super extreme. It's funny when you see like old, whether it's commercials or sometimes like, what was I watching a while ago? Oh, it was on 9/11 every year I watch. There's certain things that I watch, and one of them is the documentary that the French brothers made, and then the other one, because they were there, and the other one is and it changes from year to year because sometimes they take them down due to copyright violations, but it's the like as it happened, like the broadcast of ABC or CBS or whatever, just to see. I remember I was watching an interview with Ken Burns about the Civil War, and he was talking about the part when they were editing the Lincoln assassination sequence, and right before the gunshot, he told the editor to pause the video, and he said it just kind of like waited there for a second because this is the last moment that we had Lincoln alive, or something to that effect, some kind of poetic thing like that. And that's why I like to watch those broadcasts of 9/11, and even the JFK assassination. You can find those, like CBS when Cronkite busts in. You can see the programming before that, and it's that same feeling that Ken Burns describes for me. It's that last moment before our perceived innocence was lost, before things changed, before the world we knew, the life that we had grown accustomed to, and the future that we had expected for ourselves was unalterably changed. And to me, since World War II, I would say that the two big things that can be defined that way are JFK's assassination and 9/11. Third, my birthday back in 1978. But I don't want to try to overshadow those two big moments, so I'll just keep that out there. But yeah, those are moments where, and then so to watch the old programming and you see the commercials and how they're all like little lilty, and they're or when they're trying to be scary, they come off as cheesy, which they do now too, but we don't laugh at them now, but we will in 10 years or 20 years. I just like to see that, like to see how much culture has changed, to see how much what is good has changed, and also just what people were interested in. I don't know. I find it fascinating. I can't imagine life without it. As much as I hate it, it's also very convenient for a lot of reasons. We can learn a lot, which is a double-edged sword, because people can misuse it and miseducate. But at the same time, if you know how to smell bullshit, then you can go and teach yourself a lot of things. Like, I'll give you. This is a small example. I had these pork chops. Cindy had bought them. I bought them. I forget why. I had these pork chops. I had to cook them up. Now, I don't like pork chops. Why don't I like pork chops? Because every time we had them as a kid, I had more pork chops between my teeth than in my stomach. They were always dry. I just assumed this is how pork chops were. As it turned out, nobody that fed me pork chops, and I mean like at barbecues or just dinner at night or somebody else's house, knew how to cook pork chops. They cooked them till they dried them out. So I found a way on YouTube how to cook pork chops in a stainless steel pan, which I happen to have, like a restaurant type. And so I followed this guy's recipe, and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like you have it on the heat too long, but I'll trust you here, and I'll use this probe, and we'll go off of science. And so I did everything he said to do, and then he teaches you how to make a pan sauce. And I was like, oh man, a pan sauce. I made the pan sauce, made the juiciest pork chops you've ever had in your life. And I replicated it 2 nights ago. And it was like, okay, I can do this. Now I like pork chops. Why? Because of YouTube. I've learned how to cook meats because of YouTube. I'm about to learn how to smoke meats because of YouTube. I learned how to do everything that you consume that I put out because of YouTube, and some friends who had some experience. But for the most part, YouTube was my college. And to me, that is revolutionary. That changes the world, and that says to the old dinosaur institutions, we don't need you anymore. And that's why they hate YouTube. That's why they hate the internet. That's why they hate social media, because it makes them irrelevant. And that's why they want to censor it. And that's why they invented the words mis and disinformation. So I love that everything is being flipped on its head, because the people have, they've got some power now because of the internet. They just got to, not use it stupidly, but they have it. Use it for yourself. Do something good with it. Figure out a way to add value to a community. It doesn't have to be the whole world. It's just a community that you are probably a part of. You start in your own backyard, and figure out a way that you can help it online. And you might be surprised what that brings. So there you go. There's my soapbox moment for the day. Okay, guys. Always use the alleys during the tourist season. Oh, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. James says they only ask you in the visitor center. I don't know what we're talking about there, but I will believe you. Ty says, yeah, saw that about Antietam's fee. Never paid one and was never asked to pay at the visitor center. Yeah, I wonder, like, I wonder how aggressive they are asking you to pay. I mean, obviously, if I bring 80 people and we're in 45 cars, then it's going to be something they're going to be like, all right, did you all pay? But one person going through there, I can't imagine that they're going to be aggressive and come after you like that. I'd say it's astounding to me that tax-funded anything charges fees. I don't know. And I don't care what the excuse is. It's just stupid. Matt, instead of freezing, you just went through some sort of clipping where you sounded like Max Headroom, or Max, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that is probably doing that when it is a weak signal, but still strong enough to keep broadcasting video and whatever, but so it just gets choppy. When I'm out and about like this, I'm at the mercy of the internet. It shouldn't be as bad when I'm in a controlled environment like the studio, and that's what's so freaking annoying. Peter says need a passenger van. Yeah, but then that's more money, and I'd have to charge more, and I don't want to do that. Matt Gillespie says, great answer. Thanks. Please drive carefully. Thank you, sir. Paul says, damn, going to miss all the tours. We have much going on here. I think the 350th anniversary of King Philip's War can do without you for a tour or two. I mean, I know that's such a big, huge event in the minds of modern Americans, but you can come to one tour. And by the way, all of these tours are not on the third Saturday of the month this year. I try to keep them that way, but scheduling conflicts and other things have made it so that they're not. So for example, April is the last Saturday, it's the 26th. Yeah, that is the last Saturday. It's the last Saturday of April. We're also doing, by the way, patrons, go and look at the posts the last few days. I reposted the links to our anniversary show recording sessions at the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. I want to keep them patron only this year. However, we're producing a show. We're producing not only the audio show, but we're producing a video show, which means I have to pay my videographer, which means that I'm also paying the guides for this because I'm selling tickets. So somewhere along the line, those needs need to be met. And so that's why we have a limit of 20 people. With 20 people, we can do that. And I think there's like 75 cents left over for addressing Gettysburg. So the thing is, we need to sell out all 20 of those for each show. So if we can't get enough patrons who are able to make it, I am going to open it up to the public. First, it'll be the free followers on Patreon, and then see what that does. If it doesn't do anything, then I'm going to open it to the general public, because we need to get that 20. It's our minimum, but it's also our maximum. It's kind of a stupid corner I painted myself into, but there's not a lot of space. We're trying to keep it intimate, etc., etc., etc. So if you're a patron and you aren't aware of that yet, go and find the post with the links, and go ahead and get your tickets as stupid as popsicles, or as soon as possible, if you will. All right, let's see what else we got here. Garrick says, on 911, I cannot watch any of those documentaries. I was at the Pentagon with the fire department. Oh, I can only imagine that you couldn't. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to either. You saw it. What do you need to watch a documentary, right? You lived it. Paul says, was living in town when 9/11 happened. Had to speed through town, park on sidewalks on Buford. Have GDP rolled up on me as if I was loaded a car. What? Rolled up on me as I was loading my AR-15. Told him to watch my car. I had to get my gear. I don't understand what I just read. was living in okay, got that. Had to speed through town, comma, park on the sidewalk on Buford Ave, period. Speed through town and park on the side of Buford Ave, period. Gettysburg police rolled up on me as I was loading my AR-15, period. Told him to watch my car as I had to get my gear, period. Why were you loading your AR-15 on Buford Avenue on 9/11? Peter says, seems like the fees for Antietam are the same as the Met pay if you feel guilty. Oh, is that what it is? It's like a guilt thing? Eric Koval says, hello. Hello, Eric Koval. How are you, sir? How are you? But whatever. You got to pay the fee. You got to pay the fee. I just don't understand what the purpose of taxes are. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The Phantom of the Opera is here, and he's got a funny face. Oh, let's just take a little drink of my water here, ladies and gentlemen. Now you may be saying, why is he stopped, but he hasn't turned the camera around? Who wants to look at me? Okay? We'd rather look at this wall, wouldn't we? Worked as a Department of Defense security team outside of D.C., got recalled to work. I get it now. Okay, there you go. I thought you were some lone crazy who thought that Muslim terrorists were going to fly planes into the Pennsylvania Monument or something like that, and you wanted to shoot it down before they got a chance. Who knows? Paul? I know you, but I don't know you that well. Ty says, I wouldn't miss the King Terrence and Philip War. Shut your... I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your guy, but I'm not your guy, friend. I'm not your friend, buddy. Oh, God. I love South Park. Peter says, watching any of the confirmation hearings? No. No. Politics makes me sick to my stomach. I resent it, and I try not to watch it as much as possible. I mean, the short of it is I don't care who's in charge. They screw us anyway. It's just which flavor of screwing do you like better? So I'm not particularly active with politics anymore. I used to be. By the way, if you ever catch yourself feeling like you're going crazy, stop watching the news, stop watching confirmation hearings, stop following politics, and you might find your life improves within 14 days, and you'll never want to go back. So there's my second public service announcement. Anyway, I have to get going because I have a meeting and I need to go and feed these stupid meters before I feed my face. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure to drive you around. Thank you to those of you who donated gas money through super likes and super chats and super thanks or whatever they call them. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you're showing your appreciation for me driving you around like this on my dime. And ladies and gentlemen, also, don't forget, February 6th, coming back, AG Today, our final farewell to our dear friend Colby Sumner. It'll be a month-long, tear-filled tribute to one hell of a Marine and one hell of a guy who falls asleep in the middle of my show. So, join us for all of that, ladies and gentlemen. You have yourselves a great day, and I will see you, allez, à terre.